Good evening, brother and sister. Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mita Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Sutta Discussion Day 64 by Bhante Dr. Ganggoda Wila Chandima. Tonight class is the 15th class of Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, and we are going to continue discussing the fourth noble truth, which is the path leading to the cessation of unsatisfactoriness, the dukkha nirodha gamini pati pada Arya Sachang. Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta is the fifth sutta from the total of 10 sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous 63 classes there. The sutta discussion Zoom class is always open. Therefore, whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom, where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook Messenger. We are always welcoming newcomers. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Ganggoda Wila Chandima, is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University in Thailand. He was previously Research Fellow at the Center for Study in Religion and Society, CSRS, University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Ganggoda Wila Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, from 2012 till 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dharma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dharma talks, and a variety of other Dharma activities. His Dharma work can be accessed at http://patisota.blogspot.com. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and thank you very much for the wonderful talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Ariana, for the gracious introduction as always. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening,
friends. And welcome back, everybody, to TRV Sutta discussion. We have been coming a long way. Today is going to be 64th Sutta discussion. And today, as you can see, we are going to, I would say, do a kind of a revision of the Eightfold Noble Path, because we have studied about the Eightfold Noble Path for a couple of weeks, probably more than 7-8 weeks. So we will be doing kind of a revision, kind of, I would say, looking at the Eightfold Noble Path, I would say Noble Eightfold Path from different, I would say, aspects. Plus, I want to tell you that this is the core of Buddhism. Core. This is not so-called Buddhism. This is the core essence of Buddhism. So, with that background, let's get started. So, the first thing is to pay respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhasse. All right, so I hope that you come here after some preparations about some of the questions, some of the things if I ask you about the Noble Eightfold Path. So first of all, let's see the text as well, because today we will be kind of like finalizing wrapping up the Fourth Noble Truths. All right. So today, okay, I could not. Today we have Aliana, Na, Lim, Sadiris, TC Lim, P, Ong, Hema. Probably some might join. I don't know. Today we started kind of a virtual poll to know whether you have interest, you have a confirmed participation, and we couldn't add maybe part. Some people are on the stage of maybe, I may come or not. So we'll be adding that. Yes, no, maybe, perhaps next time. All right. So we are going onto the block here. So click on here. All right. So give it a couple seconds to boot here. See. Okay, almost. Yeah, so we have done up until, I would say, here, right? Yeah. Chago Patinissago Mutti Analayo. That is where we left up last Friday. All right, so maybe we can have a reading up, and then we will go up until 53 over here. So let me read first here from 43. Idang ko pana bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipada ariya satcha. Dukkha nirodha gamini. Do not try to read so fast, then you will be missing, or maybe you may be mispronouncing some of the letters. Dukkha nirodha gamini. What is my basis of reading like that? I identify full word, right? You could say the full word is dukkha nirodha gamini, but these are separate words that we take together. But when you pronounce dukkha nirodha gamini, dukkha nirodha gamini patipada ariya satcham. Ayang eva ariyo. Actually, some texts say ayam eva. There's a combination here, but you could say ayang eva ariyo attangiko maggo seyatida. The rest is easy. Samma ditti, samma sankappo, samma vacha, samma kammanto, samma ajivo, samma vayamo, samma sati, samma samadhi. All right, maybe we can ask everybody to read, so we can know how things go well with you. Yeah, who would like to read? From 43 to 43 to 53. You can read by looking at the screen. Yes, Sadiris, go ahead.
Idam ko pana bhikkhave dukkam nirodha gamani patipada ariya satcham ayameva ariyo attangiko maggo seyatidam.
Yeah.
Samma ditti, samma sankappo, samma vacha, samma kammanto, samma abijo,
Ajivo.
ajivo, samma vayamo, samma sati, samma samadhi.
Yeah, great. Next. Maybe we will ask Lim to read. Lim is kind of silent for many sessions. Okay. Let you read, Lim. Yes, from 43.
Idam ko Pana Pikawe
Mhm.
Tuka Nirodha Gamini Patipada Arya Sacham. Ayam Ewa Aryo Atakiko Mako Seyatitang. Samaditi Sama Sangkapo Sama Wacha Sama Kamanto Sama Ajiwo Sama Wayamo Sama Sati Sama Samadhi.
Yeah. How about 45th? Would you like to read again this line? 45th one?
Ayam Ewa Aryo Atangiko.
There's a small thing to say. Should it be atangiko, atangiko? T.
Atangiko.
Atangiko. 8. It means not atta. Atta means meaning. Let me write that for you, just for the sake of everybody. Yeah. See here. When you say atta, and now you can see. Okay, atta. Now I'm gonna do something like this. What is the difference? Now I'm going to actually write something here too. Atta means meaning. And then atta means 8.
8.
Interesting, huh? So how do we pronounce then here, this part? Ayameva Ariyo. Yeah, Lim, can you try that?
Ayam Ewa Aryo Attam.
See, atta, T, not the. Like this one, T, and then this one is T.
Te.
Yeah, T.
Te.
I would say T for T, right? And then, yeah, T for T, trust. Yeah, but this one is, but it is not the. It's the, atta, not atta. Atta is a different one. Attangiko, right?
Attangiko.
Great. You get in there. Almost get in there. Attangiko monk. And then here, once again.
Seyatitang.
Seyatidang, right? Seyatidang.
Seyatitang.
Great. All right. So who else? It's good that everybody can read, so I can help you.
Okay, I'll try, Bhante.
Okay, give me a second. I have to go up over here. All right. In there, 43. Yes, 43.
Idang ko panna bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipada arya satjam ayang eva aryo attangiko maggo seya tidang sama diti sama sangkapo sama vaja sama kamanto sama ajiwo sama wayamo sama sati sama samadhi.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Thanks.
Who else? Tisalim, would you like to try?
Idang ko pana bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipada arya satjang ayang ewa aryo atangiko mago seya tidang sama diti sama sangkapo sama wacha
Sama kamanto.
sama kamanto sama ajiwo sama wayamo sama sati sama samadhi.
Great. Have you ever thought that reciting and reading has a difference sometimes? You can read you can just read by mind, but I mean, when you are to recite, everybody of us, like we should be able to pronounce properly, you know, different letters and different places of the mouth, right? Yeah, great. Yeah, great. Anybody else? Who else with us here? Anybody else? Aliana, go ahead, please. Yes.
Bhante, can you please explain the Attangiko, the T and the, I'm not very clear about that.
Okay. Please let us give chance to Aliana first, and then I'm going to read. Huh? Aliana, please go ahead. 43.
Idangko panabikawe dukkha nirodha gamini patipada arya sacham. Ayang eva aryo attangiko mago seya tidang. Sama diti, sama sangkapo, sama waca, sama kamanto, sama ajiwo, sama wayamo, sama sati, sama samadhi.
Great. Yes. All right. Back to the question asked by Na here. She asked about the difference between Atha and Atta, right?
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the pronunciation.
Yes. So every time you see this and then this with a dot below, these are pronounced separately. Now, if you could see tanha, let's go back, go up here a little bit. Here you see tanha. Do you see a dot below T?
No.
What if there was a dot below T? It's going to be tanha, right? It is not tanha, it is tanha. See, you can see over here at this point. This is just T. There's no below T. So we pronounce it tanha. But if you see there's a dot below T, we don't say te, not patipada. It should be patipada, te. Okay. So it should be pronounced as T, as te. Yeah, this is te, this is te. Two different letters.
Yeah, this quite confusing for the tongue to pronounce.
Well, I think we should go for another document over here on my blog, if you don't mind. Let's go and see it. I think let's go there. Then I will show what it is. The and te.
Evening, Bhante.
Good evening, Madhu.
Evening, sir.
All right, Ali. Let's see. It was, I think it was I probably think it was Google Classroom, right? But we did Google Classroom, yes. Maybe you may have remembered about this first lesson we did on the Pali reading class, actually. Do others also find the same issue, the and te? Have you been able to distinguish these two? All right, this takes some time. So I'm going to probably show you this from here. So, yeah, I will show you a little later now. Don't worry. Now I know the issue. Okay, let's see. All right, we got it here. Yes. All right. All right, I think this should be this document. We'll see. Pali alphabet. All right, you see here the 33 consonants. You can see the third and fourth lines here. Kaka gaganya, chacha jajana. This one called tata dadana. This one tata dadana. Now you see the difference between the letters t, and then th. All right. So tata dadana. Actually, okay, if you ask me how to pronounce with your mouth, what I could say is tanha. We say tanha through our teeth, dental part. All right. So whenever you have to use teeth, that means the. All right. That is how we understand this one. But when you see T there and there is a dot below T, that means it's not the. You're not going to say it with T. It is the. The could be, I would say, can go back again here. I think I have explained that too. See this document? You could see it's a lingual. It's a lingual. That is where we're gonna pronounce that particular letter, linguals. So when you say linguals, that particularly means t is pronounced with your tongue. Make sense?
Yes.
Let me just zoom a little bit here. All right. Now you can see. See? T with a dot below that we have to use our tongue. T, T. But T without any dot, we're going to say T with teeth. Make sense?
Yes. Yes. When you say
Okay.
dental, then it makes sense.
Sorry,
Dental, that
Bhante.
means.
To me, it's quite similar to TH. T with a dot is quite similar to TH. Is it correct? The pronunciation.
When you say TH, that means it's going to be this one, tatha, tatha. But when you see T with a dot and H, you're going to use it with your tongue, t. All right? T and t. Lingual. So that means here, Ariyo Atangiko Maggo. At this place, this T has to be pronounced with your tongue, not with your teeth. All right? Not Atangiko. When you say Atangiko, you use your teeth. It has to be Tangiko, you have to use your tongue. Don't try to clench, huh?
That means we curl our tongue up and we pronounce the T with the dot.
Sorry?
That means we curl our tongue in, we roll our tongue inward to pronounce the T with the dot.
Yes,
Something
just like you pronounce any other letter that is coming from your tongue.
yeah.
So it is that particular T with a dot below has to be pronounced with your tongue.
Mhm.
And the T without any dot has to be pronounced with your teeth. All right. Now here again, patinisaggo. Try to pronounce this one. Patini, not patinisaggo. That is to your tongue. Patinisaggo. All right. Patinisaggo. And then we can just scroll around. Here, vibhava, not tanha. Don't use your tongue. Vibhava, tanha, your teeth. And then what else? Yeah. Here, samma, not ditti. It is ditti. Use your tongue. All right. So I think we're going to go back to our topic once again. Otherwise, we'll come more. Okay. Anybody else who want to read just to see how your pronunciation works?
Can I try, Bhante?
Yes, please.
From 43.
Yeah, from 43.
Idang ko pana bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipada
Great. You found it. Okay.
Arya Sachang. Ayang eva Aryo Atangiko Mago Seya Tidang Sama Ditti Sama Sankapo Sama Vacha Sama Kamanto Sama Ajivo Sama Vayamo Sama Sati Sama Samadhi.
Great. Yes. Yeah. Anybody else?
Okay, Bhante, I try.
Okay, Hema. Yeah.
I'm trying to see from the screen.
43.
Yeah.
43. Yeah.
Idam ko pana bhikkhave. Dukkha, where is that? Dukkha nirodha gamini. Patipata Ariya Sacha. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. I'm looking at the screen on my TV.
Yes.
Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Ariya Sacham. Aya Eva Ariyo. Is there a two dot? Sorry.
That's what we just discussed.
I can see that. Atangiko mago seya tidam. Sama dithi, sama sankapo, sama vacha, sama kamanto, sama ajiva, sama vayamo, sama sati, sama samadhi.
Great.
Sadhu Bhante.
All right. Anybody else? We have Ong and Chan and also Dihan. Would you like to read, one of you?
All right, I try.
Yeah, give it a try. Always try is the best. Okay.
From row
43, please.
Idam ko pana bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipada Ariya Sacham. Ayam ewa Ariyo Atahangiko Mango Seyati Dam Sama Titi Sama Samkapo sama wacha, sama kamando, sama ajiwo, sama ya wayamo, sama sati, sama samadhi.
All right. Yeah, great.
Thank you, Sadhu.
Yeah, Dihan.
Bhante, starting from
43. Yes.
43. Idam ho pana bhikkave.
Idam ko.
Idam ho pana bhikkave. Dukkha nirodha gamini patipada arya satcham. Ayam eva arya attangiko maggo seya siddham. Samma ditti, samma sankappo, samma vacha, samma kammanto, samma ajivo, samma vayamo, samma sati. I can't see below 52 there.
Yeah.
Samma samadhi.
Samma. All right. Okay, so I think that's adequate for the reading part. Now I'm going to stop the sharing screen. Now back to our conversation, back to the discussion part, which is the most important part here, right? Is the pronunciation important? Is the pronunciation of Pali important in our readings? It is. Well, it is not important than the Dhamma, the path, but in order for you to understand the Dhamma, you should have a correct, true picture of the Dhamma. So it is mostly given in the words, but we are not going to attach the words too, because Dhamma has to be also given up at a certain point, because we should not carry anything. What about the Adhamma, right? All right. So as I told you, today we are going to discuss about, I wouldn't say discuss, I would say kind of a revision of the 8 factors. So I may ask questions from you, just to see everything has gone well on your side, right? Otherwise, you were just listening to me, just looking at me, what is he saying, writing down a bunch of books of notes. That might add to the knowledge, but not to your practical understanding and then to the application whenever you want to practice, right? All right, somebody sent a message. Oh, it's Kim. I think Kim should be in Indonesia. He's trying to get hold of us, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyways. All right, so I think before we talk about the Noble Eightfold Path, I wanted to give you something very interesting. Now, when anybody talks about Buddhism, they actually talk about different topics. What are the topics that someone can talk about in the name of Buddhism? What do you know about Buddhism? Can you tell me about Buddhism? What do many people talk at that point? What are your experiences when you go to listen to something, when you listen, when you read? What is your basic experience of what is Buddhism and how it was normally explained by many people? Suttas. It is like that I'm asking what is inside the bag, and they say, that's a sutta bag. Huh? I want to know what is inside. What's the overall thing? What's the essence? What's the core? C-O-R-E. What's the core of Buddhism?
They talk about dana, doing dana.
This is one of the things that a lot of people talk about. Very good, brother. We're going to talk about it. Dana. If you are a Buddhist, you must do dana. But why? Why should you give you dana? It's not very much explained. It's explained, but not very much clearly explained. Why? That is one perspective. And then others? Karma, Sila. Yeah, these are all subjects of Buddhism, topics. Yeah, come on, up.
Meditation.
Say what you have, meditation. Okay. Say what you have heard, what you have perceived, what you have learned. Maybe what was your first experience from somebody, maybe a speaker, maybe a book, maybe something else.
And, sometimes they mention middle path.
Middle path. Sometimes, not all.
I mean, not the extreme. And sometimes we talk about it, but we don't really talk a lot.
Yes. And then others? Yeah.
Bhante, for me, if you practice the Dhamma, the freedom that you get is incomparable.
Freedom. Yes. Actually, it is the freedom. One day we need to free us from our mind and even from the samsara, right? And then?
It's about cultivation.
Did you say mental?
Cultivation.
Cultivation.
And, yes. Training is for training. Sila, morality.
Yeah, training. They say threefold training, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, right? Adding on to that. And Aliana said Nibbana. Yes, this is the main thing that a lot of people talk about, kindness. So there are a lot of things that people talk about when it comes to Buddhism. What is Buddhism? That's a paramita, right? Perfections. Yes, perfections. There are, how many paramitas do we have in Theravada?
10.
We have? No, only 10 names. We have 30 paramitas. If you are a bodhisattva, if you want to become a Samma Sambuddha, you have to fulfill 30 perfections. Every name of the paramita, as you said 10, every name of the paramita has to be fulfilled by a bodhisattva in 3 ways. I will give you an example. When it comes to the bodhisattvas, perfection of the dana paramita, the first paramita, they fulfill in 3 ways. Dana parami, dana upaparami, dana paramatta parami. Dana parami means bahira banda parichago dana parami. Let's say the bodhisattva is going to offer what he has and what he can give, including starting from the food, probably a massive big thing, even the real estates. That is there. His or her bodhisattva's dana parami. But what is his dana, his or her dana upaparami? Anga parichaga. Anga parichaga means organ donation, blood donation. Not everybody, right? Even it is very difficult for people to sign when they die. For a possible, I'm not gonna give my stuff. You will go away from your body, but still like, no. Those are my eyes, right? So much attachment, right? You know that you are definitely exiting the body, departing the body. But okay, dana upaparami means anga parichago. Even the bodhisattvas sacrifice their body in parts. Dana paramatta parami means third level, the highest level of their dana parami is dana paramatta parami. They risk their life. Okay? They risk their life. That means they may sacrifice their life for a good cause. But now, just because I said this, do not try to think about, may I be able to sacrifice my life? Do you think those people who take their life, they are doing the dana paramatta parami? Never. This is only pertain to a bodhisattva. In the same way, these threefold category, I would say classification, works, I would say, to all the 10 paramitas. That means 30 paramitas. And then how many paramitas, I would say, who fulfills 20 paramitas? Now, Samma Sambuddhas, those who want to become Samma Sambuddhas, they have to perform 30 paramitas. Then who performs 20 paramitas? Pacceka Buddhas. How do we take the 20? They only perform the first 10 too. Dana parami, dana upaparami. Sila parami, sila upaparami. Not paramatta parami. Then who are going to fulfill 10 paramitas, as somebody said here?
Arahan?
Just arahants.
Arahana.
Arahants. If you want to be an arahant, then you must fulfill 10 paramitas. Now, those people who even do not perform their rest of the paramitas trying to attain Nibbana, is it going to be possible? This is the issue. Just because you hear from a Dhamma talk, okay, you can become a Sotapanna, you can become Arahant. This is not as easy as you just listen or hear from a Dhamma talk, maybe from a Dhamma piece book. You should be eligible for this thing, right? You should have sacrifice for this thing. Dana, Sila, Nekkamma, Panya, Viriya, Kanti, Satcha, Aditthana, Metta, Upekka. 10. It's a huge sacrifice, huge contribution to our mental development, right? So, and now you might think about, what about then Sopaga? What about then Bahya Daruchi? What about those people who just came and then just became Arahant? They must have done that before. That did not happen all of a sudden. What about Angulimala? You know what? Angulimala killed 909 people. So what about me? I haven't killed anybody. It's not about you comparing Angulimala to us in this life. Angulimala was a very good person before his that birth. He had fulfilled all paramitas. In his last life, he went wrong just because he was, put to that point because other students were very jealous of him, right? They fabricated a lie. Every time he outsmarted all the other students. So other students, they were very jealous of him. What they did? They fabricated a lie. What they did? They said to the teacher, Disapamo, Angulima, I would say Ahinsaka, his name was Ahinsaka, he is having an affair with your wife. He got mad. He said, okay, you should do the tribute before you graduate. You should make a garland of human finger. This is what things went. So we should not compare this kind of a person to us. It's a totally different life, sansaric life. Anyways, I wanted to tell you that when we say the core essence of Buddhism, that is none other than the Noble Eightfold Path. That's the shortest answer. But a lot of people say, no, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. How do we solve this issue? If we want to solve this issue, we have to go to a sutta, right?
Sorry, Bhante, I didn't hear clearly. Can you repeat it again?
All right. So the essence or the core of Buddhism, the Buddha's teaching, is none other than the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path is the central teaching. I would say it is the core of Buddhism, the Buddha's teaching. But most people have not understood it this way. They have understood this maybe in the way of Sila, Samadhi, Panya, 3 disciplines. That is one very famous way of understanding it. In order to solve this issue, I'm going to tell you a sutta. The sutta is, I would say, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. In the Majjhima Nikaya, I would say, I'm going to give you the number. Dhammacakkappavattana, I think I have already told you a long time ago, this sutta. This is the most important sutta about the Noble Eightfold Path. It has clearly given everything. The number is Majjhima Nikaya 117.
170, Dante?
No, 117.
Oh, 117.
All right. Seconds. Actually, it is not that sutta. Sorry. Chula Vedala Sutta. Mahachattarika Sutta explains about the 10-fold 8 path. It is Chula Vedala Sutta.
Which is 117.
No.
Not 117.
Mahachattarika is 117. Chula Vedala is Majjhima Nikaya 44. I'm writing here. 44. Now let me read the quote here. Now the conversation happened between a bhikkhuni and a man. The bhikkhuni is the former wife of the man. Interesting, huh? The husband comes to see the bhikkhuni, and now he asks question. Her name is Dhammadinna, and the man is Visakha, layperson. Here is the question. All right. Are the three aggregates, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, included under the Noble Eightfold Path? Or is the Noble Eightfold Path included under the three aggregates, Sila, Samadhi, Panya? Now here aggregates mean not Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. The question is whether Noble Eightfold Path is included under Sila, Samadhi, Panya, or Sila, Samadhi, Panya are under the Noble Eightfold Path. Answer. The three aggregates, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, are not included under the Noble Eightfold Path. But the Noble Eightfold Path is included under the three aggregates. What does it mean? This means Arya Attangika Magga is the path that we have to practice under the Sila, Samadhi, Panya. But how do many people describe Sila, Samadhi, Panya? Sila means your, your 5 precepts. And then Samadhi could be maybe a samatha meditation, maybe a general meditation. And Panya could be that highest wisdom, right? But Sila has to be understood with the Sila part of the Noble Eightfold Path. What is the Sila part of the Noble Eightfold Path? How many path factors are included in there?
3.
Yeah, what are they?
Speech, action, and livelihood. Speech, action, right action.
Let's say in Pali, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva.
And livelihood.
Samma Vacha means right speech, Samma Kammanta means right action, then Samma Ajiva means right living.
Yeah.
Is this the Sila that we normally understand by Sila, Samadhi, Panya? That is an issue, right? We normally say the Sila under Sila, Samadhi, Panya is mostly like a basic Sila, like 5 precepts. But Sila, according to the Noble Eightfold Path, is none other than these 3 path factors. That means we should be able to take care of our speech, actions, and then our living. What about then Samadhi part? How many path factors are included in the Samadhi part?
3.
All right. What are they?
Right. Effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration.
All right. Yes. Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Our Samadhi has to be then practiced with Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Panya. How do we practice Panya?
2.
Yes.
The right view and the right thoughts. Yes, Samaditi and Samma Sankampo.
Samma Sankampo. Yes, yes. Right view and right, what do you say? Right intention or right thought. I think this is a very easy way to understand the Noble Eightfold Path within the Sila, Samadhi, Panya practice. So whenever you talk about Sila, it is Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva. They are the ones you should be able to practice. When you say Samadhi, you should be able to practice Samma Vayama, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi.
Sama, sama, sama.
When it is said Panya, what is Panya?
Samaditi.
Samaditi, Sama Sangha.
Sang-
Now there is a problem. What is the problem? On the path, which you call by Noble Eightfold Path, do we have to start with Sila, or Samadhi, or Panya? Interesting, huh? Now
This
there
way.
you see Sila, Samadhi, Panya. That is
Yeah.
how you know in many suttas actually, also in our popular understanding. But when you see then the Noble Eightfold Path, how does it teach us to practice history?
It's sequential from top to bottom. Sila, Samadhi. Yeah.
Right view.
That means
Is from this Sila first. Foundation to, I don't know, from what I understood, I have to do a foundation of a good Sila first, morality, and then only practice to the next level, then only the Panya come along. Am I right, Bhante?
yeah, that is something we can see here. But what should be the way here to start off? Did the Buddha say we have to first go to the Samma Vacha Kammanta Ajiva, then to go to Samma Ditthiya Sankappa? How did the Buddha say here?
I think it's right view.
Panyas was
We have
Panya.
to start
The precept.
a primary level of Panya.
Panya.
It is not that
Panya.
higher Panya where you going after Samadhi.
Okay.
That Panya is the highest. It comes
Yes.
after. You won't get it at the beginning. But you should have a plan to start the path. Where is your plan? Can somebody build a big building, a tower, skyscraper without a plan? No. Without a designing, without a plan, can they do that?
No.
No, they have to have a very good plan. That where is that plan located in the path? Sammaditthi.
Samadhi, yeah.
Although Sammaditthi is Panya, but here understanding that whole structure, we call it as the primary level of the Panya. We should have that primary understanding. This is Panya, the Panya that I can see, but understanding, getting into that Panya, entering into the Panya is the highest. That will happen after Samadhi. That means we start with a little bit of Panya, going into Sila, going into Samadhi, entering into that highest level of the wisdom. Make sense?
Yeah. And Bhante, can I ask about, is the 5 precepts should be in the Sila side? Is it? Is the foundation?
5 precepts.
The 5 precepts.
Well,
is it the Sila training or morality?
Yeah, normally according to the Noble Eightfold Path, we don't take
5 precepts.
we only take 3 precepts. Panatipata, Adinadana, Kamasumichachara. Right?
Okay.
Why do we not take Suramere? If you are consuming alcohol and if you are not sober, drunk, you are not able to practice anything. It is something related to your Sammaditthi. When you have Sammaditthi, you are not going to do such things. That is why even before you touch Sila, you should have a plan. Should you have a plan or not? For example, if this is Sila, before you touch this pen, you should have a plan. How I am going to touch this pen? How I am going to write with this? That means you should have a plan. If you don't have a plan before you touch and get into Sila, how will you get ended up? You will get ended up with Silabbata Paramas. What is that? One of the fundamental fetters that stop you in becoming a Sotapanna. Silabbata Paramas. It is part of Sila. When some people practice Sila too much, without knowing why do I practice Sila? For what purpose am I practicing Sila? They will practice not Sila, but Silabbata Paramas. Make sense? Why is it? They do not know why we should practice Sila. Then why part, this WH part comes from some level of Panya of the path. That means the path starts from some level, not the highest level of Panya. You won't be able to go there right away. At least having a an understanding about the path. That will give you this mapping, navigation of the path through some primary levels of the Samadhi, Sama Sankappa. Why do I say so? Moreover, because let's say you don't practice Samadhi and Sama Sankappa. What will happen to you? Whenever you don't have the right view, this primary level of Panya, then what will happen to your rest of the thoughts? Your thoughts come from a wrong view. Killing other people is okay, stealing is okay, hurting other people is okay. Why are such thoughts coming up? Because your view is not rooted in the kusala. That means before sila, we should understand what are we supposed to do. That comes from a certain level of understanding the path. That is related to the Panya. Is this way very interesting to learn? This is how the Buddha said. This is how the suttas say. Then why many people get caught up in misunderstandings with the Sila Samadhi Panya? Is it because of misconstrued understanding or misunderstanding? What could be the reason? Why is it? Why is it very difficult for many people to understand that Noble Eightfold Path is as such that we all need to have some level of Panya, at least to understand the path, reading level of Panya, and then go to Sila, Samadhi, and then the Panya. Why is it? Because Noble Eightfold Path is not properly taught. It's not properly clarified in many places. What they say is they take individual parts. Sammaditi is so and so, Samma Sankappa is so and so, Samma Vacha is so and so, and they take it separately. But they never know this is an integrated practice, combined practice together. That is the issue. Now I'm trying to say, if it is an integrated practice, combined practice, then can you take each factor alone for your practice? No, they all are connected.
Connected, yes.
They all are connected. That means your practice of the Noble Eightfold Path has to be a combined practice. It's a combined cultivation. That means Ditti, Sankappa, Vacha, Kammanta, Ajiva, Vayama, Sati, Samadhi, all have to be practiced, cultivated. I would say cultivated simultaneously as much as possible. Now, say for instance, take the 7th path factor. Some people take Samma Sati out of the path. Oh, mindfulness, right? They take it out. And I would say only practice meditation. You will get there. Where? Nibbana. Can you go to Nibbana with just Samma Sati? No, you can't. Because you have to start from Sammaditi. If your view is not right, then you are not able to only practice Samma Sati. Samma Sati has to be practiced together with the rest of the 7. So be very careful in understanding this. So that is why some people get stuck in a point. They ask questions, Bhante, can we not meditate? I said, why? Because the meditation that nowadays popular is not very easy for me. I said, why? I have to sit down, right? And I sit for long hours. I can't sit on the floor. All right. So if you say that, if you think that only people who can sit down on the floor can attain Nibbana, then only people who can sit down can only attain Nibbana, right? Is it true? Can it be true? No. Well, I mean, some people, they really want to practice the popular way of meditation. Let them do that. But according to the text, what the Buddha says is that For those people who want to go for that kind of meditation, cultivation, they can do. But my way of cultivation is a combined cultivation. That means everybody has to cultivate 8 path factors together, not separately. That means the path to Nibbana, is it just a meditation? No, it is a cultivation. Cultivate your view, cultivate your thoughts, intention, cultivate your speech, cultivate your action, cultivate your living, cultivate your effort, cultivate your sati, and cultivate your samadhi. You can't pull out one path factor and then say this is the path. Right? It's very interesting, very important, very interesting, because I don't think that this understanding is not being spread by many people, because it is due to the reason that probably only certain sections have been popular, so they only work on these separate popular sections. And one other thing is that, have you ever seen that people giving equal significance to other path factors compared to meditation? Sammaditthi, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma. Do they give equal significance to those path factors compared to Samma Sati? It is not happening all the time. It is because the path is not taught altogether as a whole, but only as a standalone practice. All right. So before I ask separate questions about each path factor, I would like if you have any questions. So please vote. Kisilim, yeah, go ahead.
Bhante, you mentioned all the 8 factors must be cultivated simultaneously. Must they be cultivated in sequence?
First in sequence, then all together.
And then Bhante mentioned that the right view and the right intentions are at the initial primary level and finally at the supramundane level.
Let me explain a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Sammaditthi, Samma Sankappa, they are related to the Panya part. Anyone who is going to practice Sammaditthi, Sankappa, they are going to practice those two at 2 times differently. First, they have to get a sense of what the path is all about. It's like that you are going to a course and then they are giving you a course manual. So you're going to read it a little bit. What is this all about? Right? And then only you go again, and then finally you're going to have an examination, you're going to pass it. Then you are going to the provision of that manual or the course. In the same way, without having a certain level of understanding about what you are going to do with Sila, Samadhi, and then the Panya, the path is not going to work. So I said, first, in the process, everybody is practicing Panya at 2 times. First, at the beginning, and then at the end. But at the end part is going to be little, it's little deeper. It's kind of a deeper practice. Yes. So let me say this way: Panya, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. How is that? Panya, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Start with Panya, end with Panya. Yeah.
Bhante, can we say that we can also classify as 10 factors?
10 factors. Oh, you mean Sammaditthi, Samma Sankappa, then again rest of the 6 again, then 2. Well, you could have a mental knot, but we cannot make it a a regular thing, because the path is normally 8, but when it is going to be practiced, this is how we're going to do it. Because according to the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Buddha also says, when you are already an Arahant, then you practice this as 10. Samma Jnana, Samma Vimutti are going to be added at the end. So then people might be confused if you're going to say 10. But for your personal reference, what I'm saying is that this is how this works. But we normally say Panya, Sila, Samadhi. But just because we say Panya Sila Samadhi, it is not easy for somebody to understand. That's why I said Panya Sila Samadhi Panya. Let's say the person practices a little bit of Panya, and then Sila, and then Samadhi, and then the full level of the Panya, the complete level of the Panya. All right?
Bhante, there's a very school of thought that strongly believe that with meditation alone will lead to Nibbana.
Yeah.
The others are not necessary.
Yeah, that is a problem.
And maybe I'm wrong, but especially in the forest tradition, the Tutangas, they go into aesthetic practice in the forest, okay, and striving towards enlightenment, and the others are not important. And sometimes even when they give talks, they also their main core emphasis is bhavana. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Now, should we learn Buddhism from the mid-centuries or from the text itself? So the texts clearly say that this is how it has to be practiced. I think probably 400, 500 years ago, probably 200 years ago, there was a tradition that was started only for certain meditation styles.
Yeah.
So they were, well, I mean, they are good. I'm not saying they are bad. Like somebody can benefit from them. But the problem here is we are not trying to like see this as a non-serious thing, because this is a serious thing if you want to learn actually how to liberate us, how to really go into the path of the Buddha. Then we cannot simply waste our time just by being driven into those unnecessary, I would say, not directly on the path practices. So it is clearly mentioned that this is how we have to cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path. Though most of them are actually, almost all of them are mostly traditions that were started with some meditation styles in different countries.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about them. And I would tell you, most of those meditation styles were based on the Visuddhimagga.
Yes.
Visuddhimagga was a commentary. What is it?
Right.
It's a commentary.
Commentary.
How was it written? How was it written? In the 5th century.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Buddha Ghosa.
Yes, the Mahavihara monks wanted to write, I would say, a commentary to the Tipitaka. So they were really, bothered by a book called Vimuttimagga, which was written in Sanskrit by the other monks' tradition in Sri Lanka. We call it Abhayagiri. At that time, Sri Lanka had Abhayagiri and Mahavihara. Actually, some of the Chinese monks who came to Sri Lanka at that time, long time ago, they wrote down Abhayagiri was a very famous, very interesting point. Even the Chinese Mahayana traditions, they talk about Abhayagiri, that their books, they come from Abhayagiri. So what happened was that Mahavihara monks wanted to write similar book like Vimuttimagga, the Path to Liberation. And then they asked one South Indian monk called Buddhadatta. So he came from South India, but he could not do it. Then when he returned, there was another monk came from South India. His name was Buddhaghosa. When he came, then Mahavihara monk asked, we want you to translate Sinhala commentaries into Pali commentaries. At that time, the commentaries were initially primarily in Sinhala language. But we don't have any of them now. Were they destroyed after the translation into Pali or not? We don't know. But it says, Mahavihara monks told Buddhaghosa, monk Buddhaghosa, you need to first write a thesis about the Tipitaka, Sutta Vinaya Abhidhamma. The book he wrote was Visuddhimagga. Most of the meditation styles that we talk about, so-called traditions, they base their meditations on Visuddhimagga. We are not talking about meditation from the Visuddhimagga. It's a very late book. Probably, I would say, 7-8 centuries after the Buddha's passing away. Now, we are talking about the Buddha's true, real suttas, early Buddhist suttas. So we don't have to get wrong with that, actually. So, and there is a problem with the bhavana, because Buddha does not use the word bhavana for sati. He says that sati has to be cultivated, right? So what we have to understand is cultivation could be a good term, but cultivation is not necessarily only for the sammasana. Cultivation has to go to all the path factors. Let's say I have a good view today, right view. Is it guaranteed that I have the same right view tomorrow? That means I have to cultivate my right view also every day, every moment. I speak very nice today. Is it guaranteed that I will speak the same way in 2-3 days? That means I have to cultivate my right speech all the time. Then, if somebody says your cultivation happens only when you sit down and closing your eyes and meditate, that is going to be a stark joke. It's not going to happen. It is a certain type of cultivation, but cultivation means that whole inclusive practice. That is why some people are very disillusioned. If we want to practice cultivate, we have to go to the forest, we have to do very extreme practices just like monks. This is wrong. This is really taking people into very, I would say, misunderstandings. Now, I know there are people, they were really good people before, really good dayakas. They come to temple, they offer dana, they were very kind. Dhyan, I will give a chance. They were very kind, they were very much generous. But when they started learning too much about these type of meditations, they forget about the dana and being kind and all those things. They are not doing well with their Dhamma practice also. They have stuck between two. So let's say there is someone who is offering dana, who has a very good heart, who is very kind, who is really grateful. This is what you are trying to gain from the meditation, right? Yes. When you go to a meditation, you are trying to focus. Why you have to focus? Because you might get into akusalas. But there is someone who is naturally already a good person. Why are we going to destroy that person? So I'm telling, yeah, you are already a good person. Please continue cultivating your path. You don't need to be so much bothered by a lot of Dhamma, right? If you want to learn Dhamma, learn from the Noble Eightfold Path, but not go to too much extreme, really hard and fast practices. Then you will not do the both. This is going to be a really mess to you, right? Yeah, Dhyan, go ahead.
Yeah, but practically, Bhante, sometimes we are getting a lot of disturbance with these children, family, and many things with the environment also. Then sometimes we feel then if we want to more practice, better go to a remote temple or jungle or something like that. But according to the environment, sometimes we are not familiar with that. The deep forest or something, but I feel that practically when with this family environment and all these other things, right? So it's better going to a jungle or any remote temple and meditate and coming back, because we feel sometimes we can't go beyond that level because with the disturbance of these others. Thank you.
Yeah, a very good question. I think this question should be a question of all of you. Then we can only be good in the jungle. Let's be in the jungle. We don't come back to the city, right? Buddha's Dhamma should be something that we should be able to practice everywhere. Be in the jungle. That's why Buddha says, Aranye rukkamo leva sunyaga reva bhikkavo. Aranye, jungle, forest. Rukkamole, in front of the tree. Sunyagari, empty place. Where's the empty place? My room. Maybe my house. Yes. The modern lifestyle has brought different issues. They are not issues. It is a problem of the, it is a mismanagement of the family. Actually, when you have a family, you know, you are surrounded by children. Yes. And you might sometimes think, okay, I can't do anything with my children. Actually, how many virtues can you practice when you're with your children? Listening to them, being patient, right? And then, you know, when you are to do with chores with them, right? Maybe even when you wash their dishes, it is a meditation. I mean, yes, when we go to a remote place, when a place where there are no people, when there is nature, of course, we have a different mindset. But what the Buddha says here is that not looking for that kind of place initially. We have to make the place where we are the place of the cultivation. It may be your house, it may be your work, it may be the forest, right? So the cultivation starts wherever you are comfortable with. I know if you say you are not comfortable to practice cultivation, and you particularly noted it's meditation. Actually, cultivation. Now, if you're looking at the Noble Eightfold Path, can you practice Samma Vacha in the forest? Where are you going to practice that? Samma Vacha. You don't have to talk to people. If you go for a silent retreat, why do you have to talk to people there? You can't practice Samma Vacha in the jungle. Are you going to talk to animals over there? Are you going to talk to mountains like Hitler? No, right? Then where are you going to practice Samma Kammantra? Not killing, not stealing, not misbehaving or sexually misbehaving. Where is it going to be related? Right? What about other things? I would say Sammaditthi. Buddha says taking care of your mother and father, part of the Sammaditthi. Can you bring your father, mother, and then bring, give them a shelter in the jungle and take care of them? Not going to be really practical. Actually, what you said is really interesting, because a lot of people think that way. But my understanding about the Noble Eightfold Path is, Noble Eightfold Path is a cultivation that we should be able to practice wherever we are, right? So you don't have to go to, if you want to go to say Himalayas, other mountains, just for an outing, go for it. That will definitely change your mind, calm your mind. But for the practice of the Dhamma, that is not the way. It's like you temporarily forget about some stuff. Then again, it's like somebody who is drinking alcohol just to ease out the pain. But then he has to go back to home, right? And then again, he sees the problems in the house. I don't know. I'm not going to say who is that, right? Again, he has to deal with everything. So to me, I think this is not a Noble Eightfold Path. Has to be practiced wherever you are. Make your life comfortable for that. Make your life a place. Make your workplace, family place, an opportunity to start. It may be hard. Every good thing is hard, right? It may be hard. You might see it a little hard. They are talking, they are shouting, but you will find them interesting. What is the normal reaction when a child is shouting? You get angry. Then where is your peace? Then where is your right view, right thoughts, right? Then should I again go to the forest to get some right thoughts and get some right view and come back again? That is not going to be practical, right? So it may be hard, but when you keep practicing consistently, as I said, consistently, you will find a certain way. All right, I can hang on to this. It was not easy before, but now I am slowly adjusting to a certain way of practicing of the Noble Eightfold Path, even within my house, right? So that is what I think about just walking away from your normal life, to see the peace.
So
Once in a while, you can go and check. It's okay. It's a good thing. But you can't practice the Noble Eightfold Path that way. It's not going to work.
Bhante,
Yes.
so can we say that there's a lot of Buddhists with wrong views about how the Dhamma is being practiced? Because many believe when you practice the Dhamma equals to meditation. Nothing else.
Do people say that practicing the Dhamma is equal to meditation?
Yes, a lot. And they are not talking about the Noble Eightfold Path.
That's
Okay,
the
the
problem.
real
Who?
emphasis on meditation. Okay, because nowadays there's a lot of meditation monks, and we go for retreat. And another thing is, Bhante, why in a retreat we are asked to observe noble silence? So how can we practice Samavacha when we observe noble silence?
Well, I think
your
yes,
take, Bhante.
yes, a very good question. I think the mindful, let me tell you, there are some issues. First issue is, what is meditation? Is meditation sati, samma sati? I don't think so, right? I remember the famous monk who was here, Bhante Punnaji, is always talking about, I don't agree with samma sati to be right mindfulness. How come? It is called filling the mind. In Buddhism, we are sometimes emptying the mind. So how can samma sati be mindfulness? So there is a primary, actually, even in my understanding, there's a primary problem of the literal meaning of the sati. Sati cannot be mindfulness. But where does mindfulness come from? Western world. It comes from the Western world. Where is the silent meditation coming from? Western world. If you go to the Western world, US, Canada, they have Goenka traditions. Like, then I remember that many of my friends, when they go to see me, and then they normally tell me, Bhante, we've been to a silent retreat done by Goenka. For 1 week, we can't talk anything. We just whisper sometime. Yes, I think it is good in a way. It's not attached to the Noble Eightfold Path. Because what I'm saying is that being silent sometimes is good, because a lot of people keep talking, right? They don't stop talking. So at least giving that opportunity to be silent and then just to see what is going on, it's a good thing. It may not be directly attached to the Noble Eightfold Path. I think that is why they may try the noble silence. And also there are other teachings. The Buddha says to monks, if you do not talk about Dhamma, then you should be silent. You should not be just silent. You should practice a noble silence. Yes, I think in a retreat setting, it is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But it may not be the Noble Eightfold Path as a whole. So I think people, the teachers have to tell them the path is this. It consists of 8, right? And I think also that they might do in a retreat more the stuff that are really relevant to a retreat, like noble silence, maybe a couple of meditations. But one thing that they are not doing is that they are not saying that this is an integrated practice. That is a problem. So people get lost, especially those Satipatthana masters, because they only talk about Satipatthanas. They don't know Satipatthana is only Sammasati.
Bhante, how does the 3 P's, Pariyatti, Patipatti, and Pativeda, fall under the Noble Eightfold Path?
Well, Pariyatti is the Dhamma knowledge.
Yes.
So Patipatti is the application practice.
Yes.
Pativeda is the enlightenment. So
yes,
I would say, I think it is a way how the Dhamma can be seen. Probably, if there is somebody who is looking at all our practices, he or she might come to that understanding. Okay, now they are learning through a Dhamma talk, that is Pariyatti, and now they are trying to practice in their daily life or maybe in other places, that is Patipatti, and then Pativeda. Maybe now they might have been enlightened or something. All right, any other questions?
Thank you, Bhante.
I think Bhante, I think it's a good practice for lay people to go on and off a short retreat of 5 days, 3 days, or uposatha a day, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no problem. Going for a retreat has no problem.
A short one.
Yeah, even you go for your own time, personal time on a trip, silent trip. It is also good, because just to walk away from the busy life. But if we talk about the Noble Eightfold Path, do not try to attach this to that retreat.
Yeah.
This is the issue, right? Going for a retreat gives you a very new experience about peace. But Noble Eightfold Path is not just a retreat thing. It has to be practiced at all times. That is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. But when we go into the retreat, we are practicing the right effort, because it's not ever easy to really sit down for a long sitting or being silent and all that. Is an effort, isn't it? Practicing the Noble Eightfold Path.
When someone
part
goes
of
to
it.
when someone goes to a retreat, they may practice different path sectors, different path
Yeah.
factors. So there's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
But the
different.
problem is, if the person who is conducting the retreat is to say that you come here to practice the Noble Eightfold Path, that teacher, that person has to say Eightfold Noble Path has to be practiced as a whole, not as an isolated practice. If that understanding is not given by him or her, that will lead to certainly a misunderstood direction. But this direction is very important. Yes.
I can see that, because if it's so focused to one and that's the only one, then it'll be a bit of yeah, I can see that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante.
So before another question, I would like to say Sammaditthi means right view. That includes 10 things, right? We discussed that in the past, that you have to practice 10 things. Hello, Kim. We see you both. Okay. And when it comes to Samma Sankappa, that means there are 3 thoughts or intentions. What are they? Avyapada, Avihimsa, Nekkhamma, right? Thoughts of not killing, destroying, thoughts of not harassing, thoughts of not being greedy, trying to get rid of karmas. Then Sammavacha, 4 good speeches, not lying, not talking behind the back, or not slandering, not talking harsh words, and not using frivolous talk. Samakammanta, not killing, not stealing, not misbehaving. Samma Ajiva, right living, not cheating other people, not pursuing one's own money planning, just putting other people in difficulties. We talk about that a lot, right? And Samma Vayama, what is Samma Vayama? Right effort. But what is right effort? I told you, and I would say kind of an analogy. A garden, a vegetable garden. Remember? How did I explain that? Removal, prevention, and then removal, prevention, and then development and deepening. That means, let's say you have a vegetable garden. You may have some weeds already in the garden, so you have to get rid of them. Or you may face some weeds, so you're gonna be careful about. So you're gonna do things, and then what do you call? You may already have vegetables and fruits, so you're gonna develop them, and you may have certain areas that you want to increase your what do you call, crops. So in the same way, if you have akusalas already, you're going to overcome them. If you don't have akusalas, you try to prevent them. If you already have kusalas, you're going to develop them. If you don't have some kusalas, you're trying to let those kusalas come to you. And then Samma Sati, 4 Satipatthanas. Kaya, Chitta, Vedana, Chitta, Dhamma. Samma Samadhi, 4 jhanas. Patama, Dutiya, Tatiya, Chaturtha jhanas. All right. So this is what we call by the Noble Eightfold Path. And this has to be practiced together by understanding Panya, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, and Panya. Okay, any other questions?
Bhante, frivolous talk is often defined as talk that doesn't concern Dharma. But as lay people, we don't talk Dharma all the time.
I don't think
we are living a lay
I don't
person's
think
life.
there is a definition as such.
Then what is frivolous talk, Bhante?
Frivolous talk is Kalavadi, Bhutavadi, Attavadi. Yes, someone say Dhammavadi, so Kalavadi means timely. That is important to that particular time.
Okay.
And then Bhutavadi, truthful speech.
Truthful.
Attavadi, meaningful speech. Dhammavadi means the truth. It's not Dhamma, truth. Right? In that sense, it's truth. So when somebody explains that if anything that is adhamma, if anything that is not a part of Dhamma teachings and that is gossiping or what you call sampappalapa, that is going to be a very impractical practice. I don't know who's talking like that. So I think there's a big problem nowadays. When you are trying to understand the Buddha's teaching that was given in the 6 BCE, long time ago, I would say almost 2,700 years time thing. We have to always understand essence and then how that essence is going to work for today's life. But what many people are trying to do is that they try to understand the essence and trying to understand how it worked for the 6 BCE people. 6 BCE people not any longer with us. The society has been upside down with everything, right? So we have to understand how this is going to work. And there's no mention that if you talk about anything other than Dhamma, that you are breaking, you are creating sampappala. So timely, meaningful, truthful speech.
One more question, Bhante.
All right. Let me tell you, if anybody else wants to ask any question.
Okay.
If not, okay. All right, looks like no. Yeah, go ahead, Sislim. And with this, we're going to finish, wrap this up.
Bhante, your take on Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma.
What is my take on Abhidhamma?
Yeah. Because many believe that it's not the teachings of the Buddha. It's not necessary to learn Abhidhamma. And then there's another school of thought that that it's important to learn Abhidhamma. By learning Abhidhamma will help you to understand the suttas more deeply and more accurately. So there are different views and understanding on Abhidhamma.
Yes. I would say nobody should learn too many stuff because you don't have lots of time. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Even to practice what you know here, it takes time. Okay. These are easier to say. Even what I say is easier to say. No, not easier to say. Yeah, difficult to say even the proper right thing. But even when I said those things, it takes lots of time. So if that is the case, I think if you can manage yourself with the path, especially with the Noble Eightfold Path, this is the core. Core is not Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma, I would say it's kind of the hardware. It's not the software. It's kind of very going too much into everything, you know, to understand what it is. So we don't maybe there may be people who want to study that way. Let them go and study if they have time. Scholars, maybe some other people who follow others. But for you, my understanding is that even the things that we discuss about the Noble Eightfold Path, this is a life, not a lifelong. Sansara long journey. So you can't even have time to practice these 8. You don't have lots of time. So I think better to focus on the Noble Eightfold Path from the suttas. Because Abhidhamma only explains the suttas. Abhidhamma does not talk about something new. They base their everything on the suttas. I have taught Abhidhamma too, so I know what it is, both in Sinhala and in English. So what I understood was that it's a long. It is. I wouldn't say that it is bad. It is kind of a larger definition about the Dhamma. It is not very much necessary if you really want to practice, the Noble Eightfold. That is the key here. But when I say like this, because I'm telling kind of a neutral idea, some people might go and let's look at some Abhidhamma. Then what happens? They get stuck. They get stuck in both Sutta and Abhidhamma. They don't know. They are getting very fed up with everything. So better not to touch that part, you know. But if you really are concerned about it, go for it. But be careful. There's a risk of getting caught up in some overload of Dhamma, I would say a lot of Dhamma things. And this is just fine. Just follow the sutta teachings, but do not ever say Abhidhamma is bad, Abhidhamma is not. Abhidhamma is something that is a waste. Never ever say that. But you know what you want to learn. And this is what I say. Make sense?
It makes sense, Bhante, but then first of all, we always say that the Pali Canon is preserved in the three baskets. So the Vinaya, the Suttas, and the Abhidhamma.
Buddha never says so. Buddha says Dhamma and Vinaya. So that is, yes. He said Dhamma and Vinaya.
Okay, how Abhidhamma comes in the picture is because there's a program in Colombo, YMBA, Young Men's Buddhist Association. They conduct diploma in Buddhism, diploma in Theravada Buddhism. There are two subjects. One is Dhamma and one is Abhidhamma.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why are you worried about it? It's an examination.
Yeah. No, I'm not worried. I already graduated already. But
okay.
But
All
the
right.
thing is, I'm promoting the program in the society.
Yes.
You see, and the syllabus is such. You see, so when the program is such by YMBA Colombo in Sri Lanka, okay, I cannot tell them that not necessary to learn Abhidhamma. I cannot tell them.
No. Let me tell you a healthy way to promote this thing.
Yeah.
Right. I think Dhamma as a scholarly way of learning, and Dhamma as a personal journey, they are two different things.
Right.
What I just said to all of you was Dhamma as a personal. I think that is the most important thing, right? But Dhamma as a scholarly teaching, like a graduated teaching, is what we learn by Sutta, Vinaya, Abhidhamma. Let them study that, right? Even if you want to spread the word, go for it. It's okay. But in your personal journey, that is my recommendation. The one I said to you just earlier, right? Yes. And the idea of the Pitakas, they came after the Buddha passed away. Buddha normally said Dhamma and Vinaya, but the senior monks wanted to put this into the Buddha. Say, even the Buddha said Dhamma and Vinaya, Dhamma has also Abhidhamma. So this is how it works actually. No? Dhamma has Abhidhamma. And then, anyways. So what I'm saying is that Abhidhamma is a teaching that has expanded the Sutta's teachings. But for your personal journey, you are good with Suttas, most importantly with the Noble Eightfold Path. All right? Because we don't have lots of time to do all these things. And I cannot say it's a waste. Compared to the time, it may be, because we don't have lots of time, because how many other things you have to do, right? In your daily life, right? You can't just read a book all the time, right? And be in front of a computer just looking at these suttas, especially those things. All right, so let's then wrap this up by transferring merits. May all the good karmas that we have been accumulating today be transferred to all the departed people. May departed people be able to receive all these good karmas. If they were reborn in a place of discomfort, pain, may they be able to release from those sufferings by being reborn into a better place. If they are already in a better place, may they be able to improve their lives and then learn and practice more Dhamma and finally attain the Nibbana. Let's say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dhamme ñāti nang hotu Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. May all the devas, nagas, and Mahikas share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us. Reverend monks, all of you, your family members, everybody, for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety. May Deva Naga Mahidika also finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, Sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tulukasasanang. Akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tudesanang. Akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tumang paranti chirang rakkang tutmang sadati. By the power of all these merits, may we be able to be in the company of the Kalyana Mittas and not with the Pama Mittas. Thinking thus, we're going to recite the wish. Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanimbana pattiya. Finally, may all the good karmas that we've been accumulating in today's discussion, 64th discussion in our Sutta discussion series, be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddha pachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarugya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, so that's the end of a discussion, and we had two questions that I think we forgot here. Patisamuppada is the central teaching. It's not, I would say, it is not. It is a part of the Noble Eightfold Path, because dukkha samudaya has a reason, dukkha nirodha has a reason. Huh? And then Aliana's question is 82 wrong views also under right view. 62 wrong views are wrong views. They are wrong views. We should never practice them. Given in the Brahmajala Sutta. So right view means 10 things. I think I already shared with you. All right. So next Friday, I will be conducting the Sutta discussion from Malacca. Oh, I'm going to give a talk in Malacca on Saturday. So I'm going there on Wednesday, actually, a little early. So I'll be conducting it from there. So looking forward to seeing you all.
Okay.
Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Kim.
Hello.
Hi.
I couldn't on because I came back to the hotel late and I was at the restaurant, so I couldn't on the video.
Were you with us?
Huh?
Were you with us for some time today?
Yeah, but the line on it went off.
Yeah, Facebook. Can you please turn on the Facebook?
Brother Lim, please.
Yeah.
Hello. So nice to see you. I enjoyed the talk. I couldn't contribute. I couldn't talk.
Brother Lim, do you mind to stop us on Facebook? Brother Lim?
Yeah, so.
Do you mind to, yeah.
You're on the Facebook. Oh. Are we still on Facebook?
Good night, Bhante.
Good night, everybody.
Bhante.
Good night. Good night.
Yeah, have a good trip, safe trip to Malacca. Have a good Dhamma talk. See you next Friday.
See you next
Bye-bye.
Friday. Take care.
Bhante, now, where you stay, Bhante?
But
I am
think we are
at
still on
Buddhist
Facebook.
Mahavihara.